A very warm welcome. Thanks for joining us. We start with more on the shooting of a young mother and anti-racism campaigner who tonight is in a critical condition after a shooting in South London. A vigil has taken place this afternoon outside the hospital where she's being treated. Police say there's no evidence the 27-year-old was the intended target. Our Home Affairs correspondent, Katharine Carpenter, has more.
Forensic investigators carrying out a painstaking search outside the house where Sasha Johnson was shot. At the police cordon we met Clive Morrison, a friend of Miss Johnson's for 2 years, since she inspired him to join the Taking the Initiative political party.
I would describe her as a fiery spirit, a warrior queen. Yeah, she's a very attractive person, and the more I got to know her, the more I fell in love with her spirit.
As Miss Johnson fights for her life in hospital, friends held a vigil in a nearby park this afternoon. Sasha Johnson's friends, families and supporters have been giving speeches about her vibrant personality and celebrating her activism. But the Metropolitan Police say they don't believe she was targeted because of her politics, and they say they're not aware of any credible threats against her life. Friends are also trying to piece together what happened.
All I can do is refer to the information that I have been given recently from friends and family. As far as we're aware, she was at a party. There was a rival gang that may have heard about someone being in that party that they didn't quite feel comfortable with or trusted. And so they resorted to driving past and shooting into the garden. And one of those shots obviously hit Sasha Johnson. But I don't believe she was the intended victim.
Earlier, Mayor Sadiq Khan said Sasha and her family are in our thoughts and prayers. I know the NHS are working incredibly hard. We've got to make sure we do all we can to support the police in catching those responsible for this awful shooting. There is shock here that a mother of 2 received such devastating injuries and a determination to find those who carried out the attack. Well, Metropolitan Police figures show that gun crime has been falling in the capital steadily over the past 4 years or so, although there was a spike just after the end of the previous lockdown in July, and the police are alert to the risk of that happening again. But there are many people working to try and make our streets safer. One of them is here with me now, Gary Trousdale from the Damilola Taylor Trust. You're the Legacy Director. A lot of people will look at this incident and say, how worried should I be? How safe are our streets?
Well, you know, I think firstly London's a very balanced city. Most people in this city today will be praying for the young lady's full recovery. I think that's the most important thing to remember. The streets of London are as safe as any major city in the world. We've got issues in some of the areas like Peckham where there's huge pockets of poverty surrounding gentrified areas where there's great wealth. And Peckham in particular, there are very wealthy parts of this area of London, and there are areas that are greatly affected by poverty, and wherever that happens anywhere in the world, you will get crime and violence as a byproduct. Sasha
Johnson has hit the headlines because of her political activism, but she's also a mum of 2 young children.
Yep.
What work is being done to try and ensure that young people don't get caught up in this kind of crime? We don't know exactly what happened here. But
we don't know exactly what happened, but I guess, you know, most people are making an assumption that it was linked to crime and to violence, and we're hearing that it could be the drug trade was involved. There are fantastic organisations doing amazing grassroots work across London, helping the most deprived. The Mayor of London brought in a violence reduction unit 2 years ago. That's starting to see results. But it's a long haul. Up in Scotland, they brought in a violence reduction unit in 2006. By 2016, it had brought down violent crime by almost 60%. So we've got to stick at it, and I think people just need to not knee-jerk. You know, we've come through a terrible period with what's happened with COVID, and we knew that the angst and the anxiety in the poorer areas was growing. So I don't think this tension was something the police weren't aware was going to be happening.
All right, well, thank you very much for that and for your analysis. Of course, everyone here waiting to find out if there's better news about Sasha's condition overnight.
Yes, Katharine, we wish her well, of course, and with the latest there from Peckham, thank you.